इजराइल डिफेंस फोर्सेस की प्रवक्ता की जिम्मेदारी संभाल रही मेजर लिबी वीस हमारे साथ जुड़ रही हैं. वेलकम टू आवर शो, लिबी. माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू, व्हाट इज द करंट सिचुएशन ओवर देयर?
Well, the situation is very tense and remains to be tense. Of course, 2.5 days ago in the morning on Saturday, we had the largest massacre of Israeli civilians in our history. And we saw hundreds of Hamas terrorists invade Israeli towns, kill innocent civilians. We have thousands of injured people, dozens of hostages, and more than 700 people killed. So the situation is a very, very tense one. Right now, the IDF is still fighting with Hamas in Israel, in communities not far from the Gaza border. And the situation is a very tense one and a very tragic one.
Libby, can you explain it once again that how Israel forces are dealing with this situation right now?
So right now, the IDF is doing several things. The first is combating and fighting with Hamas terrorists in the communities along the border with the Gaza Strip. So we know that there are fights currently going on with those terrorists, and the goal of that is to eliminate all of those terrorists and make sure that none of them are operating within Israeli territory. We, of course, are also prioritizing how we will be able to return the hostages that are being held in the Gaza Strip home. And the Air Force is striking targets, Hamas targets, within the Gaza Strip to make sure that Hamas no longer has any military capabilities.
Can you please tell us about how many casualties so far?
Yeah, so unfortunately and tragically, right now we have more than 700 casualties and thousands of injuries, thousands of people injured, and they're very, very, many of them are very seriously injured. So we do anticipate that the number of casualties could rise.
As you said, 100 people, are no more, and more than 1,000 are injured there. My question to you right now is, what is the goal of Israel attack on Gaza?
Well, the focus right now is twofold in terms of the military's activity. One, as I said, the goal is within Israel to make sure that Hamas is not operating in Israel, that the communities in the south of Israel are safe. And in terms of the strikes on Hamas targets, the goal is very, very clear. It is to make sure that Hamas no longer has any military or terror capabilities in order to attack or launch attacks against Israelis.
Have you ever witnessed such kind of situation so far?
No. Never. This is something that we have never experienced. It is again, the single largest massacre of Israelis in the country's history. It is heartbreaking to see how many civilians were killed, how brutally they were killed. Of course, there was the music festival that was taking place at that same time in the morning, and to see young people who simply wanted to enjoy music and to enjoy a party with their friends were butchered, to see the elderly and children taken as hostages. This is something that is horrifying, and I think that anywhere in the world, anybody could understand and feels the pain that we feel here.
One more and last question to you. How many people are being hostage there? Any figure?
So right now we can say dozens. That is the closest that I can give. And of course, it's a priority of the military in the country to bring them back home.
And what about the foreigner casualties?
I don't have right now the information specifically, but of course we mourn all of the casualties, regardless of where they come from. The fact that civilians of any place, of any religion, were killed is horrific, and it is heartbreaking. And we send our deepest sympathies and condolences to the families everywhere in the world who are sharing in this loss.
What IDF want to convey to the citizen of Israel right now?
We want to convey that we are going to do whatever we have to do to secure our country, to restore life here, and to make sure that Hamas cannot do this to us ever again.
And what kind of support you people are getting from other countries?
Well, of course, we appreciate all of the support that we have heard from leaders across the globe. I think it's really clear that much of the world is horrified by what they're seeing as well, and that the world doesn't see any legitimacy for this kind of slaughter of innocent civilians. So we are, of course, very appreciative for such an outpouring of support from all over the world, from leaders and even in citizens who contact us. It's deeply appreciated and empowering.
Anything that you want to convey to the world by this situation you people are going through with it?
I think the most important message I can say is that there is never any justification for this kind of slaughter. The videos and the movies that we have seen of Hamas murdering, kidnapping, desecrating the bodies of innocent civilians, it's horrific. It is disgusting. The sick pleasure that they took in showing the world what they're doing, it is terror of the most horrifying thing that we can see.
When I'm talking to you right now, there is a news. Hamas threatened to start executing Israel hostages on camera if Israel harms civilians in Gaza. What will be your take on that?
Again, I think that this just speaks to the horrific nature of Hamas, the fact that they are a terrorist organization with the goal of wiping Israelis off the map. It's disgusting. It's a war crime. The world should be outraged about this and should be as horrified as we are about what Hamas has done and what they potentially could do.
Thank you so much, Major Libby, with talking with us. Thank you so much.